We will start with LSU and Tennessee on Saturday morning inside Death Valley. The final score 40-13. The Vols win it. What you saw there was a football program in Tennessee that's got its feet on the ground under Josh Heupel. They've got an identity, and they've got an unbelievable quarterback. And they are a really, really good team this year, and they showed that on Saturday. And you got LSU, a team that is in year one of a total rebuild that is not very deep at a lot of places. That depth was tested on Saturday, and the better team played much better. The better team won, and LSU couldn't get us any sort of a break to try to change the momentum of the game. It was just kind of downhill literally from the first play of the game, which was, of course, the kickoff that Jack Bass muffed and gave Tennessee the football. You gave Tennessee the football. You gave them great field position. You continue to shoot yourself in the foot on fourth downs. You're dropping passes. And Tennessee made plays. It was just Tennessee outclassed LSU on Saturday.
I thought that was a full display of a team with an identity and a team without one. And I thought, going into that game, the last thing you could do is let that Tennessee rushing attack get going. But when the offense can't score enough points, you kind of let them control the tempo of the game. You let them control the flow of the game, and that's exactly what Heupel and that offense is doing with the tempo, just at the line every single play. Just put so much pressure on you as a defense, and I thought we were vanilla in that game defensively. I know they're going so fast; it's hard to really get exotic and do a lot of other things you can do, but. For so much of that game, like you can easily see what coverage we were in. You could easily see like what the defense was doing. You're rushing for every single time, and it was just one of those things where for Tennessee, they really didn't have to do much adjusting. They kind of just ran their stuff, went fast, and their offense was just rolling. And I think starting the game the way you did, you muffed a kickoff return, special team reared its ugly head again. You couldn't have got out to a worse start. The last thing you could do, especially if you're going to receive every single kickoff, is just give them 3 points on the board to start that game. And it seems like you say, you really couldn't, turn it around since that. And I know a lot of people say, well, yeah, it's the first year and, it's got to go through growing pains. But to me, the way you lose matters. Like that was just a team to me just that couldn't execute at a high enough level. And it made me really ask myself, how much better is that Pitt offense compared to this LSU offense, and how much better is that Florida offense compared to this offense? Because they were going up and down the field, scoring a bunch of yards and scoring touchdowns and doing all things that way. So definitely a reality check for a lot of Tiger fans in this town right now. A lot of work to do on both sides of the ball, including special teams as well. So, I know Coach Kelly, they're going to burn that midnight oil and try to figure this thing out and go forward from there. But, yeah, that was just not the way you want to play, especially at home in a big-time national spot. You could have really, I'm not saying go dominate Tennessee, but I just thought that game, you could have been a lot more competitive in it.
I really didn't think the defense was that bad in the first half. They got no help. You set Tennessee up right there at the 27-yard line on the muffed kickoff. And the next time down, you let them run a punt all the way back down inside the 30-yard line once again. You held them to a field goal on the next drive, and then you had the one big play over the top for the 45-yard touchdown pass. But that was really all that you gave up, and then you look up on the scoreboard, and it looks like you're getting absolutely hammered. And the defense has no – they did put up a fight there. They just got no help from their offense, and they were consistently put in terrible spots. There are so many things I want to talk about in this game. We're going to do it for 30 straight minutes here. But the first thing is, and he answered this question, and I understand the answer. I just vehemently disagree. LSU's offense is not good. It's not. They don't have an identity. They don't execute very well. They don't score a lot of points. They're not great running the ball. They're not great throwing the ball. When they do throw the football, they drop it half the time. The offensive line has been shuffled. It'll be the 6th different rotation they put out there this week against Florida. The offense is not good. Stop putting them out there first. And this wasn't the offense, obviously, because Jack Bash drops the ball. But your offense is not good enough to go out there and say, well, we're just going to take control of this game early and limit Tennessee's possessions. No, what you can't have happen is what actually did happen. And Tennessee scored 3 points right before halftime and then came out and got 7 right after that. And you had a 10-point swing where you never touched the football. I can't have that in the middle of the game with this team. Your margin for error is not great enough to where you can try to take that path. You got to kick the football. Put your strong defense unit out there, and maybe you, with a limited offense, will get a double dip in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was in that Kelly presser after the game. I can tell you two things that aren't going to change for the rest of the season. One, they're going to receive the ball every single game. That is not changing. And two, Jaden Daniels will be the quarterback of this football team. So with those things, two things being known, especially in this town, like you got to roll with that, and you got to just see what happens with that whole thing. And I think as this offense, I really want to ask him, like, have you? I know you guys want to start fast. Have you guys been able to put a nail on why this offense hasn't been very productive, especially to start football games, especially if you're receiving the ball every single game? So that's just something I think, going forward, it's really going to ail this team. If you're going to take the ball to start every game and not put up any points, just keep your defense out there. I talked about it all week long. This is the worst team in the country that you can have a slow start against. You can't do it. And they're going to go so fast. They're going to control the tempo of the game, and you're going to look up, and they're going to blitz you. And that's exactly what happened in this game. So I think, you got to figure something out going forward. I think the run game is kind of reminded me of that UCLA game, extremely vanilla. You're just running inside zone. You may mix a quarterback draw in there with Daniels, and then you got a quarterback pull play. And as a defensive coordinator, you can game plan for that. High school coordinators can game plan for that type of run game. So we kind of saw last year, they mix that counter in, they mix some stuff else in the run game, but can't just go in there with those vanilla run game just thinking you got, Alabama's offensive line from 2011. You can just move people off the ball and just dominate that way. You don't have those guys. You got to be, a little more dynamic. You got to switch it up a little bit more, and you just haven't seen that. And you parlay that with no deep passing attack. Blew my mind just to see how many guys got one-on-one opportunities on the outside. Guys are running open. Second possession of the game, second down. Kayshawn, they run a 7-man protection. Jaden has all the time in the world to throw. Kayshawn's running post route, wide open, no one in the middle of the field. He just runs the other way and so I've just watched that all season long. So will they fix that? It's going to get to the verge of insanity to think that we're going to start taking shots on the field, giving these guys some chances, because when you can't run the ball, you can't convert on third down, you can't convert on fourth down. What else is there to do as an offense? It's just going to continue to look the way it has all season.
Let's talk about the fourth downs. So the first one he went for, and this is something that Billy Napier did against Tennessee as well. He went for 6 fourth downs against this Tennessee team. They put pressure on you because you expect them to score a lot, so you in turn have to push the envelope and try to score with them. And you're down 10-0, and I think at that point you gotta take the points and kick the field goal. It's far from a sure thing with this LSU team, but you feel like you're going to make that field goal. You got close, but I would take the points there. The one that I actually really agreed with was before the half. Let me find the play so that I have it.
The 4th and 10?
Yeah. I did not hate that one because
I hated that one.
So let me go all the way down to the play so I have all the numbers right. Okay. So you've got 4th and 10 on the 45. There are 23 seconds left. Tennessee did not have a timeout, and you are putting their weaker unit on the field for one chance to make a play. And it was 4th and 10, but it was from the 45-yard line. I feel like in 20 seconds I can stop them if I need to. And I got a chance to, against a bad secondary, to get my guys in space and see if I can't hit a play. In the moment when I saw it, I went, that's not terrible, because you're down in the game. It cost you 3 points. It did. But I didn't hate the decision putting, it's a bad Tennessee secondary out there with your best athletes, calling a play and seeing if you can't go down there and get some points.
Yeah, I mean, to me, you have to look at the context. And to me, you really have not passed the ball at an elite level all season, not when you have to have it. So you're asking this offense, shaky offensive line, quarterback who really doesn't push the ball down the field, to try to convert a 4th down on a defense that blitzes every third and long and 4th and long. You're depending on those guys to hold up. So in that situation, I thought, only down 13 at the time, punt the ball, make sure they don't get any points on the board. And you go to the second half. Unfortunately, they're going to get the ball coming out of the second half. So I think that's another reason why you're kind of forced to be in that situation. But I just think too many yards. If it was 4th and 5, 4th and 6, I could see that. But 4th and 10 with this offense, this passing attack, this offensive line, I just didn't love it. And then at the beginning of the game, I didn't love that one either. Like, you're only down 10. Like, take the points, make it a one-possession game. You
needed to settle everything down. It was chaos from the start because you gave it up. And you had a stadium that was ready to be energizing into the game, and the light came right out of it. And you had a chance to stabilize things, and you didn't.
Yeah, and I think, as a coaching staff, you're used to, kind of things rolling. Denbrock, he didn't have to deal with this last year with Ritter at the quarterback position. Obviously, Kelly's been there. He has tenure at Notre Dame. They didn't have to deal with this. Is just a whole different animal. And with that being known, I know you want your guys to win. I know you believe in your guys, but you got to know what you have in that locker room. And quite frankly, right now, this isn't a passing attack. That's really one of those ones you walk in there every Saturday and you think it's going to light the world on fire. And I know it's easy to look at the end of the game and see, oh, Jaden had 300 yards.
Yeah.
A lot of that was garbage yards. A lot of that is at the end of the game. They're playing off. You're taking the little hitch routes and all that stuff. When you're actually at the habit situations, you weren't able to score touchdowns. And in this league, you have to score touchdowns to win. This is the last time you can kind of go down, never convert a fourth down, not get points on the board. You're just going to lose. And I think, going forward, you got to just have to find a better way to execute at a higher level. I don't know why Emory's just not getting enough touch. I know the run game wasn't there. That's another thing that just kind of blew my mind. Like, Williams, it's just a lot going on, man. It's a lot of tough times right now, but we got to keep battling. You got to continue to believe in some of the guys that they have. But I think going into games with that strategy they had last week, you're not going to be able to execute at a high enough level. So let's kind of get this thing a little more dynamic. Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor. Hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. We'll see you next time.